Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's satellite office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, July the 25th, 2012, and here's today's market wrap-up report. Well, before I go over the charts, let's go ahead and take a look to see how the markets closed. We had the Dow Jones up 58.73, we had the Nasdaq down 8.75, and we had the S&P 500 down 0.42. Now, it's very important to take a look at the breadth indicators around these key levels on the market, just to see where we know just so we can see how the market participants are reacting around these key levels. So if I take a look at the advancing and declining numbers on the NYSE, we had 3,583 stocks advancing, and we had 2,574 stocks declining. Taking a look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones was up today thanks to Caterpillar, which was up close to 1.5% today, but closed 5 points off the highs, not being able to hold its gains for the day. Caterpillar, the construction and mining equipment maker, reported revenues in the second quarter ending June that soared 22% to $17.37 billion compared to $14.23 billion in the same period of last year. Net income in the quarter jumped 67% to $1.7 billion, or $2.54 per diluted share, compared to $1.02 billion, or $1.52 per share a year ago earlier. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and take a look also at Conoco. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Caterpillar chart here real quick before we take a look at the markets. And Caterpillar, as you can see here, while my chart loads up here, gapped up right into this declining 50-day simple moving average around the 85.66 area, and that was a perfect area to sell it against. Also was sitting right here at gap window support from the gap up we had right here, and was not even able to break nearly in the 50% range of this gap up. So that's pretty interesting. But this was the perfect area to get short the stock. I believe my co-moderator partner Neil in the chat room, he called the stock for the short side once it started forming this nice little bear flag pattern here. You have your nice little size down move, sideways action, which is of course indicative of a bear flag pattern. Pattern move to the downside, and target was right there towards yesterday's lows. I wasn't trading that stock today. I was trading Netflix. We'll take a look at Netflix here shortly as well. But another stock that I wanted to go over was ConocoPhillips. COP reported earnings. All right, the stock slid, I believe, down like the stock was down a lot. I believe their revenues or net income was down 18%. So I'm not quite sure what the number was. We could take a look right here. Earnings were 1.17 estimate versus 1.22 actual. Whatever. I have to take a look at the actual numbers via a news source and not the Thinkorswim, just to be more accurate with it. But anyway, they did not do well on their earnings. Therefore, the stock got hit. We have to take that into consideration for the fact that ExxonMobil has earnings tomorrow before the bell, and CVX Friday has earnings. CVX has earnings before the bell on Friday. So therefore, is the COP action that took place today going to give us clues of what these other energy companies are going to report when they come out with earnings? We'll see. All right, and it's going to start off with ExxonMobil tomorrow before the bell. All right, Las Vegas Sands as well. They got hit 6% after hours after a big earnings disappointment. Look for stocks in the sector to feel some pain tomorrow morning as well. Some gaming stocks to look at would be MGM, Wynn, and MPEL. All right, and then last but not least, Amazon has earnings after the bell tomorrow, along with Deckers, DECK. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the markets here. I want to take a look at the ES or S&P 500 E-mini futures here. All right, one thing that I highlighted was the fact that we were in this range between 1370 and 1320, a nice little 50-point range on the ES. Right, and I was looking at the breadth indicator today for the fact that I want to see how the breadth indicator reacted down here near these lows compared to these lows down here, right, around the same 1320 level area. Pretty interesting. Obviously, we know that at this area right here, around this 1320 area, there's more advancers than decliners. You can just tell by the candlestick. And then right here, we had some mixed signals. I don't know what the breadth on this day is. I'll have to go check. But then from today, we can see that there is 3,583 stocks advancing and 2,574 declining, at these levels that we traded around today. So keep that in note. We'll see how that breadth shapes up going into the rest of the week here. All right, and I will keep you guys updated on that as well. All right, so let's take a look at the ES again here. 1320, the level to watch for support. We do have moving averages down here. These 200-day moving averages around 1319 and around 1316 or so. As you can see, we did break the little upward channel. All right, if we hold below this key trend line, okay, then we should get some sideways action, which will, most likely give us signals that we're expecting to move to the downside. And if that happens, we'll be back below the 200-day moving averages, which would be pretty interesting for those that, watch those averages a lot, which a lot of mutual funds and, hedge funds watch those moving averages. And of course, along with, the participants that are in the market that are, trade moving average strategies, whatever the case may be, they're important to watch, obviously, as we all know that. Okay, so let's take a look at the Qs, triple Qs. We had Apple come out with earnings yesterday after the bell. They missed, stock got hit, Q sold off. And in the video I did yesterday, I was stating that if the market was to gap down, if the Qs were to go below 62, I would not be surprised if we get to this little gap fill area right here. However, we did hold the 62s. We had a low of 62.15 on the Qs today, and they bounced it right back up to close at 62.54. All right, one stock you want to watch is Google to see how Google holds up. If Google can hold above 600 and consolidate, I would be expecting another move to the top side, maybe up towards this upper channel range of area over here towards 630. We'll have to wait and see how that shapes up. Let's take a look at IWM small caps. Of course, as we all know, small caps have been showing relative weakness to the market, to the other indices here, and small caps putting in a little inside day today on the IWM. One sector that I like, basically one sector that I like is the gold sector. It's starting to shape up a little bit better here. In my weekend video, I highlighted the fact that we were in this little triangle pattern here, and I was expecting the gold to make a nice size move within the next 2 weeks or so. As you can see, we're getting closer inside the apex of this triangle. Today we gapped up, we recaptured all the moving averages, which is pretty good. Now we just need to hold above them and basically hold above this 150, 155, 154 half level collar or so. And we can make a nice move up back towards the 157.81 area, which is the 200-day exponential moving average, and also takes us back here towards the top of the range, which right now goes is basically in the range, guys. I would say between 150 and 158.94, call it 159, $9 range. And right now we're in the middle of that range. So that's what I'm seeing going on right now. Like I said, earnings tomorrow will be Amazon and DEC. We could talk about Netflix today, which got demolished. I mean, the stock gapped down, and then the stock opened at 64.21, then ended up hitting a low of 59.20. Our target on when we traded the stock was down here towards 60. And if you take a look at the 5-minute setup on it that it had to trade, take a look at the 5-minute setup that it had to trade the stock. All right, 1 second here. Of course, we got the stock gapping down. Then you have this nice little bear flag right into the declining moving averages, and that's your entry for the short side. I call this stock in the chat room around 52.91. Let me fix the chart up here real quick. Sorry about that. Here we go. Right off of this candlestick right here. I call the stock short around 52.91. I covered it for a point at 51.91. I should have maybe been a little bit more patient, but the fact that it started holding below 60 and 60 was a level was giving you the clue that, the fact that it's held below 62 and then when it broke below 60, all right, it gave you a nice little move more to the downside. I wasn't able to participate this much, but I did catch a nice little point in it, which, a point is enough. So in any case, hope you guys had a great day trading today. Make sure you catch us in the chat room. If you're not part of the chat room, you want to go to wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form on the right-hand side and join us in the chat room at 8:45 as I will be rocking the Eye of the Tiger soundtrack, getting everybody pumped up for the trading session. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Please check out the website, wallstreettrading.com. Add us on Facebook at Wall Street Trading. And if you want to find out more information about me, you could come check. You could check my page out at Channel Guy Trader. My website out at channelguytrader.com. All right. Hope you guys have a great night and enjoy.